it's Jen with Stamp Silly. Today is Manic Monday, so we're going to create a card in, hopefully, crossing our fingers, under 10 minutes. We're going to jump right in here. I need to create a birthday card for my son who turns 10 today. So I'm going to start with some Versamark ink, and I'm using the, I've gone ahead and mounted this 10. It's from the Number of Years stamp set, and I'm going to stamp this on this piece of watercolor paper down here in this corner. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that with some clear embossing powder. Okay, now I'm going to, I know that this isn't going to be a perfect emboss. The image is, as it is, the image is a little bit sketchy. There's some highs and lows in the stamped image itself, so that I know is going to happen. Okay, now I'm going to use the Look Who's Turning, but I only want the Look Who's. I don't want the turning. So I'm going to admit that as I ink it, which is pretty easy to do with these photopolymer stamp sets. So I'm just avoiding the turning. I'll wipe it just in case I got any of the ink on that T over there. And then I'm going to line this up as best as I can up above that 10. I think I did okay. And then I'm going to sprinkle that with some clear embossing powder. And then we're going to heat emboss this. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I know you guys can't see that real well since it's clear on top of the watercolor paper. But let's heat that up quick. Okay, so I have that heated up really well, and now I'm going to just do a watercolor wash over the top. I'm going to use Night of Navy ink, so I'm just giving my stamp pad a squeeze here, and I'm going to get that ink to pool up on the lid, and then I'm going to use an aqua painter to brush color over the top of this. So I'm just going to pick that Night of Navy up and just kind of flood this here. There we go. I want quite a bit of color. And drop some more colors in and just kind of let it puddle up a little bit and let the watercolor bloom out on its own just a little. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm going to pull this out quite a ways, I think. I kind of want an organic feel here, so I think that's good. Remember, we need to be under 10 minutes here, so I better just quit fiddling. Alright, so now I want this to dry really fairly quickly, so I'm going to grab my heat tool again and just hit this with the heat gun. Okay, that looks pretty good, and now I'm going to take a piece of just paper towel and try and get that color off of the numbers and letters a little bit. I think that looks okay though. You probably notice that when you dry this with your heat tool, you can kind of move the color around and you get some really cool lines when you do that. I happen to like that. I think it looks a little more organic, so I like that look. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the balloon images from Balloon Celebration, which is this stamp set here. All kinds of great balloons, and I'm just going to stamp the balloon stems or the balloon strings in a black ink. For that, I'm going to use my Memento ink. I do prefer the Memento with the photopolymer stamps for the mere fact that it doesn't stain the stamp nearly as badly as like a StazOn or our basic black ink. Okay, so I've got that. And now I'm going to stamp a couple of balloons. I'm going to set this aside. I've got some Tangelo Twist and some Night of Navy scraps of cardstock here. And I'm going to stamp just the balloon, kind of looks like the confetti. Okay, now here's a trick for lining this up because I'm going to punch these out. So I have a punch of just scrap cardstock, and I take my stamps and line them up into that scrap, those punched out, and then I take my clear block and I pick them up at the same time. Now when I go to stamp, I can punch them at the same time. Okay, that might be a little confusing, but I don't think so. So here's my Night of Navy. I'm just stamping the same color on the same color cardstock. So you just get this confetti look. And now when I go to punch these out, I have them lined up perfectly. I can just give them a, oops, a punch. Okay, so I'm going to do that with one more here, Night of Navy, another one, and then I'll clean it and do the Tangelo Twist. Okay, so here's our Tangelo Twist. And grab my scrap there. Oops, wrong side of the block. That doesn't work. Okay, so we'll stamp that Tangelo Twist there. I think one of those should be good, hopefully. My son is a huge Denver Broncos fan, so you can about know what his excitement was when the Broncos won the Super Bowl. And I figured this color combination will be perfect for him. Hopefully. He's 10. He may not actually really care. Heck, he may not notice that it's in Bronco colors. I don't know. He's a 10-year-old boy. Yeah. What am I thinking? Okay. So now I have these balloons, and you can kind of tell that this is warped quite a bit. That just tends to happen when you use watercolor and heat embossing and whatnot. So what I do to straighten that out is I'm going to use a piece of craft foam. And I have a whole bunch of these pre-cut, so this one looks like it's going to be right to size. And I'm going to use my fast fuse. And I'm going to be quite generous with the fast fuse because I want to pull that paper back up out of its warped state. So yes, I have lots of adhesive on the back of here. But the fun foam is a little stiffer than trying to use Stampin' Dimensionals or something. It kind of just automatically pulls it back out of its warped state. So now I'm going to use my fast fuse on my card base, which is Tangelo Twist. And I do find that using the adhesive on your cardstock is much better than trying to put the adhesive onto your fun foam. It doesn't want to stick to the fun foam real well when you're going direct to it. Okay, so there's that. Looking good here. Now I'm just going to add the balloons. We're keeping this rather simple. Again, 10-year-old boy. I have a feeling that this isn't going to be something he cherishes forever and ever. Unfortunately. I wish he would, but I'm a realist. I know how this happens. Okay, so we're just going to add some of these balloons, and I'm going to save the bright orange ones to go more on the top. And so I'm just adding those with Stampin' Dimensionals. And let's see here. I may just put 5 balloons on. We'll save that one for another time. I think that looks pretty good, but I'm going to switch these two. You know what? The good thing about Stampin' Dimensionals is that they're easy to move around. So there we have it. I think that looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. My 10-year-old will probably be happy with it. I just need to stamp my inside sentiment and we are good to go. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed this week's Manic Monday. We'll see you again later. Goodbye.